All right, I'm going to show you what to expect with a virtual clearing. So I'm going to clear my daughter, but I'm going to do it all virtually, as in I'm going to still use my nervous system to muscle test her nervous system instead of using her arm. So this is the same way it'd work in a virtual clearing over Zoom. She just happens to be in the room with me, but I'm going to use my nervous system to muscle test for what she needs. So the way that that works is our nervous systems are basically like wireless routers, and so you can use your wireless router to connect with somebody else's wireless router, right? In the real world. And in the nervous system, the way with quantum physics, I can connect with her. Have you ever had this experience where you're thinking about somebody and then they call you or text you later that day? And that's actually not coincidence. It's actually your nervous system communicating on a subconscious level, and you have no idea that it actually was communicating with that other person in a subconscious way. It's really quite interesting how that's all designed by the Lord. So it's quantum physics. It's called quantum entanglement. You can look up that theory. It's very over my head, but it's how it works. So when I'm thinking about her, my nervous system, instead of muscle testing answers for myself, is going to answer questions for her nervous system. And the way when we're doing muscle testing, we're asking yes or no questions, because the body cannot lie. This is why lie detectors work, because they're hooked up to our muscles. And so when somebody lies on a lie detector test, their muscles go weak, and they can actually see that when they're testing the strength of the muscle, right? So same way, that's how muscle testing works, is we're just asking the body yes or no questions, and if the answer is no, then it's a weak response. If the answer is yes, it's a strong response. And so we can ask the body many different questions. So we're going to ask questions about what emotions are being stored in the body. And then when I go to actually clear her using a cold laser, the reason that the cold laser works for this is because it activates the cells at the mitochondria level. So mitochondria are the little energy centers in the cells, and our cells are holding all this stuff. So when we activate those mitochondria to release all the things that we found, then the body is able to process it out of the body, and it lets it go from the nervous system. So there's more information on how the cold laser works in the information below, so you can click that if you want more information. You might ask, well, how can you use a cold laser on yourself and clear somebody else? Wouldn't you have to use the cold laser on them? Well, the reason, again, why that works, that I can use a cold laser on myself and it clears her, is quantum physics again. They did this really interesting study one time, and they had two people meet, and they met for like 5 minutes, and then they separated them and they put them in Faraday cages. And Faraday cages block all normal EMF, Bluetooth, wireless signals of any kind. If you had your phone and you were in a Faraday cage, you would not be getting any messages or any texts. It's like going on airplane mode. So they put these two people in Faraday cages. They couldn't see or hear or talk to each other, and they were sort of about like 50 yards apart. And all they wanted them to do was think about each other. So that's all they're doing, is thinking about each other. And the scientists took a flashlight and they showed it in the eyes of one of the people. And they measured how much the eyes dilated, the exact time of the dilation, and they took down those notes. And then they measured the other person's eyes at the same time. And the other person's eyes dilated the exact same amount at the exact same time as the other person's. And all they were doing was thinking about each other. So when I am thinking about you, or in this case it's going to be her, as I'm using the light on myself, it is actually also going to clear her nervous system. So it's really cool. And they did this over and over again with these two men, and they kept separating them by distances farther and farther apart, up to miles and miles apart from each other, and the same thing kept happening. So that is quantum physics in a real life example, but it is a little, over the head. So if you don't understand it completely, that's okay. I don't even understand it completely. I just know it works, and most of my clients are virtual, and it works. So let's start. So I'm just going to tell my nervous system that I'm going to muscle test for her instead of myself. So I am muscle testing for Aurora. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to see how many categories are going to come up to be cleared for Aurora today. So it's in her highest and best interest to be cleared of emotions today. Yes. And one category in this chart can be successfully cleared together with no adverse effect at this time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 2 categories. Okay, now we have some different categories that can come up during a foundational level mind, body, spirit clearing, which is what this is. First one is negative emotion from the whole body. So it could choose that category. Could choose a block to positive emotion from the whole body. Could also choose to be cleared of energy between another person. Could also choose organ or gland with emotions, or it could choose a scar that wants to be cleared of emotions, or parts of the spine. So we're going to see what categories are going to come up for Aurora. So today she wants to be cleared of a negative emotion from the whole body and a block to positive. Okay, sound good? You can move your chair a little bit closer if you want. Okay, all right, so let's figure out how many of each one wants to be cleared. Okay, all right. No goofball faces. Okay, so for Aurora, she wants to be cleared of 1 negative emotion from the whole body, 2. So 1 negative emotion from the whole body, and it's this one, which I am not surprised because I've been clearing this of myself a lot. It's the abandonment mix. And when the parent, just a little side note, kids and animals pick up the emotions that we're storing. So a lot of times when I'm clearing my kids, I'm clearing it of something that I just cleared of myself. So this could be partly her feeling, could also be mine that she's also picking up from me. Just like when you go, into a room and people are feeling a certain way and you pick that up, right? And sometimes you end up storing that even though it's not your feeling. Same idea here. Empathy. Okay, so we have 1 negative emotion, and then we need to figure out how many blocks to positive. So there's 1 block to positive, 2, 3. Okay, so 2 blocks to positive. Oh, and I forgot to explain this part. So, my bad. Okay, so this is the imprints that we're working with. These are what we would use with a foundational level clearing. And all these are different emotion mixes. So like this is the anger emotion mix, and all it is it's water with emotions imprinted on the water. You can look up the information around Dr. Emoto. He's a Japanese scientist that discovered that when you imprint emotions on water, they actually change the water. And this is why, like, when we clear emotions from the water as well as the cells from our body, then the structure of our body actually physically changes as well. So it's really fascinating. On a cellular level, things move and things shift, and that's why people get the amazing results that they get with mind, body, spirit release. I've done scar clearings where I could physically see less than 24 hours later a change in the scar tissue. It was wild and it blew my mind. That was my first scar tissue clearing, and that was like crazy. I've also done scar clearings. I really like doing scar clearings on women after birth with their perineum scars because they notice that they don't have pain down there anymore. So it's really awesome. So anyway, back to this. If you look up Dr. Emoto's work, you can just find that he took water imprinted with different emotions and he froze it, and then he looked at it under a microscope, and every single emotion had a different shaped crystal, and the positive emotions like love and joy and gratitude had these beautiful, very intricate crystals, whereas hate and evil and I don't love you and I hate you had these really horrible blobs. They didn't even look like crystals underneath the microscope. So definitely check him out if you're like, that sounds wild. It's real. So what these are is water with different emotions that are around abandonment, all just imprinted on the water in here. And so when we hold it up to the nervous system, it's making me go weak because it's making her go weak. So I cannot hold up my finger strong because this is making her weak. Now here, when I'm muscle testing here, I'm asking which ones are they, so it's going to make me strong. And then when I hold up to my body to check to make sure that's the right one, it should make me go weak. So let's find the 2 blocks to positive, and the first is in this column. Okay, and it's a block to allowing and receiving mix, and that's making me go weak. And that could be something like a block to allowing and receiving love, or good things, or anything that you're blocking, allowing and receiving. Okay, and the next one's in this column, and it's a block to forgiveness. Okay, so those are our blocks. Now, when I do a clearing for you, you'll have all the notes. Like, I type them all out, and I tell you all the different emotions that we cleared from all the different parts of the body. I'm not going to take time to do that today, but I am going to tell you what we're clearing in each one of these. So, here I have a chart with the list of all the different things that are in here. Sometimes it picks all the things, sometimes it only picks certain ones. So we're going to figure out what it's picking for Aurora. So under abandonment, she wants to be cleared of, okay, abandonment, alienation, avoided, deserted, left out, isolated, excluded, helpless, neglected, forgotten, forsaken, discarded, and unprotected. Does that feel true? Okay. All right, and then we're also going to see what is in allowing and receiving mix is exactly what it says. There's really nothing else to look under for that one, but we're going to look at the block to forgiveness, and we're going to see what it is. So, okay. We're clearing a block to forgiveness, grace, mercy, release, graceful, merciful, forgiving, and letting go. Sound right? Make sense? Okay. All right, so now I'm going to clear her. All right, so we know that all these are making her nervous system very weak right now. So we're going to take the cold laser, and I'm going to use this over nervous system points. And I'm actually going to stop the video because this is like a proprietary part of Mind, Body, Spirit Release, and they asked that we didn't record how we use the laser. Also, if you are, not trained in how to use a laser, you could do something wrong with it. So we're just going to stop the video, and I'm going to clear her of these things, and then we'll be right back. So here we go. Okay, so I just went over all of the nervous system acupressure points with this, and now we're going to double check and make sure that everything actually cleared. So now I should be strong. Okay, I'm strong, and we're going to just check each one individually. Okay, and they're all strong, so now we're going to find out how much time she needs to acclimate. So she needs to acclimate 5 minutes, 10 minutes, okay? So when I'm doing a clearing for you, virtually, I just acclimate for you. So I'm going to put them in my pocket, and I'm going to acclimate for her. And then we're going to find out the action steps that are after this. So that helps us know what's next and what the body wants next. So, Aurora would benefit from another clearing in 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so she would like another clearing in 8 days. And she'd benefit greatly from utilizing 1 telepathy session, 2 tools. Okay. She would like to journal about gratitude. So we're going to practice having some gratitude practice during dinner and listing out things to be grateful for, because that actually helps rewire our brain for positivity. So we're going to do that, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Sometimes it's a subtle shift, and sometimes people notice things immediately, and every clearing is different because every clearing we're clearing different things, so people notice different things. So every clearing is very different. Some people notice instantly, some people notice after they've slept on a clearing because the subconscious needed that time to just acclimate to the releasing of those emotions. And so every time is different, but you can check out my client testimonials to see what other people have experienced after a session. Okay, can you say bye?
Bye. See you next time.